problems. That guy, he just has to touch you once.
Shit's going down.
He's so different than anybody else in the division. Like, he knocks everybody out. Everybody hits hard. They all hit hard.
But that
fucking
down.
dude hits hard.
Set that Jake Paul can come 15-20% in regards to Anthony Joshua. He's a completely different specimen. Look, you'll see what it looks like when they stand next to each other.
Joe Rogan has reacted to Anthony Joshua's intense new training regimen for the rumored Jake Paul fight, and his response says everything. After seeing leaked footage of Joshua throwing explosive combinations and training with world-class coaches, Rogan called the former heavyweight champion terrifying and warned that Jake Paul may have finally stepped into a challenge he cannot talk his way out of. With Joshua looking more focused, faster, and meaner than he has been in years, Rogan believes this matchup could end brutally and fast if Jake dares to enter the ring today.
Need to get stronger.
Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua is set as a fully sanctioned professional heavyweight contest under the marquee of Queensberry rules. They will compete for 8 rounds, each lasting 3 minutes, and both fighters must use 10-ounce gloves. Joshua is required to weigh in at a maximum of 245 pounds, which creates a strict limit designed to keep the matchup competitive. A victory or defeat will be added to each fighter's professional record. This fight is completely authentic.
Professional bout. This is going on people's records. AJ gotta take him serious because this isn't some exhibition. We're running out some judges to act like there's a decision and someone won. No, someone's gonna win, someone's gonna lose here. It's 8 rounds, 3-minute rounds. Again, heavyweight pro bout, 10-ounce gloves. AJ talking about breaking internets over faces. I think he meant to say breaking his face on the internet. Who knows? Maybe you can do both in the big 2025. But then you have the weight limit, 245 pounds, and people are automatically going to go, oh, God, here's the thing. Oh, here's the thing in the contract. No, stop all that. And I'm going to go on a rant in a second for all the people that thought this was fake, for all the people that thought that Jake wouldn't do this, for all the people that thought he was scared. I'm going to go on that rant in a second. But, okay, yes, 245 is a weird number because Jake has already fought at heavyweight. He fought Mike Tyson at 220-something. But again, I understand it a little bit. We're on short notice here. You don't want to have a Tyson Fury type situation, which AJ would never be 290 coming in here. But 260, 270, it starts to get out of the realm of possibility of like, what are we doing here? Even though heavyweight has no limit, I get
Nisa Badarian, CEO of Most Valuable Promotions, MVP, and Jake Paul's lead promoter told Sky Sports that the December 19th fight with Anthony Joshua represents a massive global scale event. He stressed that although Joshua may be the more experienced boxer, Paul's intense confidence could be the key factor, and Badarian framed the matchup as a symbolic clash, saying their team moved quickly to push the fight forward, compressing plans and negotiations into a remarkably short period. He also confirmed strict weight limits and full professional fight conditions to guarantee a serious high-stakes showdown. Badarian told Sky Sports that this fight with Anthony Joshua is far less of a mismatch than Joshua's earlier bout with Francis Ngannou. He argued that although Ngannou was a huge physical presence, he lacked real boxing experience, which made that fight more uneven. In contrast, Badarian believes Paul has advanced quickly in the sport, gaining enough skill and ring maturity to make the Joshua matchup more competitive.
The weight, will there be a limit for Joshua?
So there's a lot of discussion around the weight. Joshua fought Usyk twice. Both of those times, Usyk was 221 pounds. Joshua was 240 to 245. When Jake fought Mike Tyson last year, 227 pounds. I expect Jake will come in anywhere between 225 and 230, and Anthony Joshua has a weight limit of 245 pounds.
There will be those, as you're aware, that will look at it and criticise this fight. There already have been, haven't there? They'll say it's a real mismatch. What would you say to them? Are we going to be watching sport at its purest?
I would say it's much less of a mismatch than what you saw with AJ and Francis Ngannou. who a massive man, but relatively no boxing experience. I would say it's much less of a mismatch than AJ's 9th or 10th fight against guys who've been knocked out 20 to 25 times. Given AJ's pedigree, Jake is built for this. Jake is built for the big moments. So do I think it's dangerous for Jake Paul? Absolutely. Do I think it's also dangerous for Anthony Joshua? 100%.
According to many fight experts, Jake Paul is taking a massive risk by stepping into the ring with Anthony Joshua. Former cruiserweight champion Lawrence Okolie has warned that Joshua's sheer size and power make the bout a serious health hazard for Paul. Meanwhile, former two-time world champion David Benavidez has bluntly said Paul is walking into a dangerous trap due to Joshua's vast experience at the elite level.
I give 100% respect to Jake Paul, but that's a dangerous fight for him. He probably gets knocked out, and I'm not trying to be a hater. I'm not saying nothing bad, but Anthony Joshua is Anthony Joshua. You know, he's multiple-time champion, Olympic gold medalist. You know what I mean? The last time somebody stepped in the ring with him that didn't have that much boxing experience was Ngannou, and you've seen what happened to him. Yeah. But big respects to Jake Paul. It's gonna be a good card. You know what I mean? It's a big fight. And it's a good fight, man. I give 100% respect to Jake Paul for even taking that fight.
The Ring 4, November 22nd. Watch only on DAZN.
Carl Froch has criticized Anthony Joshua's decision to take the Jake Paul fight, suggesting that AJ is effectively cashing out, and he is not wrong to question it. Froch argues that Joshua has already made a fortune and tasted championship glory, and now seems more motivated by money than by legacy at this point. Given his financial security, Froch feels Joshua has little left to prove in traditional boxing, and is instead choosing the easiest route with a high-paying crossover matchup.
What else have we got to consider? Is AJ cashing out? Well, I did say a year ago when he got splattered by Daniel Dubois that he's finished now. He won't get that confidence back. He's not had any confidence, in his head. No belief for a long time. And I don't think he can get back to world level. There's a couple of new young guns now coming up and coming through. It's like a changing of the guard. And when Usyk retires, I don't know what Daniel Dubois is going to do next, but I don't know what Daniel Dubois did to him. Then he went on and lost to Usyk. But there's a few new heavyweights coming through. Moses Atalma, just to mention one. And you wouldn't start putting AJ in with any of these young up-and-comers that can punch hard, because I just don't think he's got the chance, because the ambition and the desire is going to be gone. So AJ most definitely is cashing out, and you can't fault him. Fair play to him. He's going to get a massive payday, maximise his exit route by fighting fake.
Some boxing fans believe Jake Paul could truly beat Anthony Joshua, and they are betting everything on his power. Despite being labeled a YouTuber turned boxer, Paul has displayed real punching strength in his fights, landing heavy shots that have knocked down or stopped several opponents. Tyson Fury, for example, recently predicted that Paul could knock AJ out, citing his increasing size and power at heavyweight. Meanwhile, Paul himself has repeatedly claimed that Joshua's chin is weak, suggesting that one clean, well-timed shot could finish the fight early.
Do you think he can win, Jake Paul?
I think it's a possibility. No one is backing Jake Paul currently. You've seen him in the ring. You can see that he's got some knockout power. And I also believe people don't look at Joshua's last few fights. And I don't think it's going to be as big of a landslide as people feel. I feel like there's an overhand right that could easily land. And I wouldn't predict that Joshua's chin can last that. The problem is that all of the pressure's on Joshua at the moment. So Jake Paul, if he gets knocked out in 12 seconds, he should get knocked out. The problem is, as soon as Joshua starts taking damage, all of a sudden he's thinking, the world is watching me. I'm a professional fighter and I'm getting beat off a YouTuber. All of the pressure is in Joshua, and that's a lot that can weigh on a man. You can't deny that Jake Paul has power. I think it's one of his only attributes. I think he's a very poor boxer, but what he does have is a weird technique where you don't know what
he's got power. How do we know he's got power?
He's knocked people out. Joshua has all of the world looking at him thinking you should walk him over. If it gets 2 rounds, 3 rounds inside, I think Joshua loses.
Many are calling this a true David versus Goliath showdown, as Jake Paul rises from social platforms and lightweight boxing to face Anthony Joshua, a towering heavyweight armed with championship experience and a massive physical edge. Joshua's size, power, and pedigree make him the clear Goliath, while Paul, the determined underdog, is relying on hard ambition and raw courage to try to balance the odds in the ring.
I can't judge Anthony Joshua for getting the bag, as the kids say, for going to wherever the fight's going to take place and taking $92 million for going up against Jake Paul, right? You can't give him for that. You can't judge him for that. But don't try and tell me that this is a real professional boxing contest. I'm saying my guess is that this will be an exhibition matchup. And if it is, it'll be one hell of a show. And I'll certainly tune in. And fair play to both men because they're making an absolute goddamn killing. But what is going on? Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua. It's a lose-lose for Joshua. It's a win-win for Jake Paul.
One of the major concerns about Joshua fighting Jake Paul is that AJ has only competed twice in the last 2 years. After a split decision loss to Alexander Usyk in 2022, Joshua has been far less active. He defeated Robert Helenius in August 2023 and Otto Wallen in December 2023 before scoring a knockout win over Francis Ngannou in March 2024.
For Anthony Joshua is his activity. He's only fought twice in 2 years, and one of them he got knocked out off Daniel Dubois. That was his last fight, and a lot of people say you can only judge a fighter's quality from their last fight. And then the fight before that was a win, but it was a win against Francis Ngannou. Francis Ngannou, if you know, he was the UFC heavyweight who's not a real boxer, and he only had one fight before that boxing fight, what he lost as well. So that's his activity in boxing. Now, Jake Paul, on the other hand, looking at his box rec, he's had 6 fights since 2023, and one of them was against Mike Tyson. But we all seen what happened in that fight. Mike Tyson was well past his prime. Where Anthony Joshua, on the other hand, is, well, I'm not going to say he's coming into his prime because he had some great wins earlier on in his career before he lost to Usyk twice. And by the way, when he did lose to Usyk, the last one was a split decision. It was a pretty close fight. So now this fight is matched, and I just want to look at the tail of the tape. Now, looking at the age difference, we've got 28 years old compared to 36 years old. So I guess the advantage there goes a little bit towards Jake Paul. 28-year-old is better than a 36-year-old. But that being said, we've got talking about experience and everything else, what comes with being 36 years old at Anthony Joshua's level. And then, like I mentioned, the heavyweights kind of seem to prime a little bit older. Now, come down to the height and the weight. This is the big one. 6'1" versus 6'6". 200 pound versus 252 pound. We got a 252 pounder in Anthony Joshua. The reach advantage is a lot, which we would expect. Amateur fights, we can see that Jake's only had one, where AJ's had 43, but 43 of them are including at the highest level, Olympic level. And yes, he won the Olympic bloody gold medal, if I don't need to remind you. Now, in the pro record, Jake Paul has had 13 fights, lost 1. AJ has had 28 fights, and he's lost 4 with 25 KOs.
David Haye has delivered a stark warning ahead of the upcoming Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul fight, calling it a clear mismatch. Speaking to Sky News, the former heavyweight champion said Joshua could cause devastating damage to Paul and fears that Paul's safety is in genuine danger. Haye even suggested the fight could be Paul's final day on earth, painting a dark picture of what might unfold if Paul fails to respect Joshua's size, power, and experience. There is an enormous physical difference between Anthony Joshua and Jake Paul. Joshua stands at 6'6" with an 82-inch reach, while Paul is roughly 6'1" with a 76-inch reach. Joshua usually weighs between 240 and 250 pounds, but for this fight, he is limited to 245 pounds. In comparison, Paul spent most of his career as a cruiserweight and has only increased his weight to around 227 pounds for his recent heavyweight appearances. This size and weight advantage could give Joshua a major edge in both power and reach.
It's a big money fight, £100 million potentially. Are you confident it'll happen?
I wasn't confident when I first heard about it. It sounds like one of those fairy tale fights that people talk about but don't actually get over the line. I heard this 3-4 months ago. I just dismissed it. I heard it a week ago. I went along with it, but deep down I thought this isn't going to happen. And today it's been made official. Jake Paul is going to get in a ring in a boxing match, boxing gloves, to mix it with one of the most dangerous heavyweights on the planet. Someone who is the Olympic gold medalist, won the heavyweight championship twice. Although he lost his last fight against a very good Daniel Dubois, he's a top 10 heavyweight on the planet versus internet sensation, someone who's a latecomer to boxing and has boxed at a very moderate level. I'm talking domestic level, and he lost to Tommy Fury, for instance. And Tommy Fury, who he lost to, versus Anthony Joshua, they're two completely different sports. So I commend Jake Paul for putting himself in harm's way, because boxing is a dangerous game. People have died in the ring. People have been seriously injured, maimed. And he believes in himself enough to do it on a massive scale, because it's not about the money. He's got enough money. This is him wanting to push the boundaries of reality. He's manifested an amazing life for himself. He's a superstar. And I think he wants to try and do the unthinkable. He wants to. It's an insane challenge he's put himself up for, but you've got to give him credit.
You say an insane challenge. You've described it before as Jake Paul being a cat versus Anthony Joshua's lion.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not equally matched on any sense, are they?
There's not one element of their boxing skill set that Jake Paul can come 15, 20% in regards to Anthony Joshua. He's a completely different specimen. Look, you'll see what it looks like when they stand next to each other.
Anthony Joshua is facing a major risk by choosing to fight Jake Paul. And for many analysts, it is not only about what might take place inside the ring, but also about how it could impact his legacy. Former heavyweight Dave Allen cautioned that if Paul even lands a single punch on him, it might undermine everything Joshua has accomplished. Some believe this fight is driven purely by financial motives. Eddie Hearn himself justified it by saying, "You can't eat legacy." There is rising concern that AJ could trade his respected image for a huge payday, and that if things collapse, he might be remembered more for a cash grab than his boxing greatness.
A lot of boxing fans will think this is a massive stain on his career and a bit of an embarrassment. Now, you two have done it. I'm sure you would both fight Jake Paul tomorrow, wouldn't you?
Yeah, but we're both retired, and we'll be looking at it saying still an easy fight because he can't box, he's useless. So it's risk reward, minimum risk, massive reward. So of course we'd fight Jake.
No, but you say that it's a big risk, Carl. Big risk.
I'm not having that.
Big risk. If you don't go and annihilate him in the first 30 seconds,
it's fixed.
Can you right? It's fixed. Oh, he's pulling him round.
Yeah.
He's talking about me fighting him though. So would you think that was fixed if I didn't go and annihilate him? 11 years retired. I think that's the point George makes. He always has a little dig and says,
no, but
say
say you go out there and it's a tough fight for you. You can say, well, what do you expect? I haven't boxed for 11 years. But then it's like, it's hard, isn't it? It's hard. Do you want that?
Nobody thinks any less.
You've got the best ending.
Yeah, I've got
your career.
Definitely. So, nobody thinks any less of Mike Tyson because he lost to Jake Paul.
He was 58 years old.
Yeah, exactly. So
he's in hospital a week before.
Snap been retired 11 years, and I'd still go in there, in my opinion, and whoop him. I don't think it'd be hard at all. Mm-hmm. So listen, he won't fight me. He's pretending he don't know who I am now for a start. So he's thought.
How can he not know who you are?
Froch means business. How can he not know?
However, numerous boxing analysts and fans are starting to think that Anthony Joshua might be stepping into the prime of his career. Despite experiencing a few setbacks, including his 2 defeats to Alexander Usyk, Joshua has displayed resilience, returning stronger after every fight. Observers have remarked on a new energy surrounding him in recent months. He appears calmer, more focused, and highly determined. Many believe this combination of experience, skill, and renewed mindset could make him a far more dangerous opponent than he has ever been before in the ring.
Got what it takes. But then sports is so psychological. Combat is so psychological. And I think the ups and downs of AJ's career have come because of the ups and downs of the psychology, you know? When AJ's on mentally, he's a different guy, man. I mean, I can remember early in his career just being this destroyer and just having this utter mean streak in there, and it would just come out of him when he would fight, and you could just see it. He had that it factor, and he was so popular. I mean, and then I remember being at the Ruiz fight at the Garden, and he gets hit with like this grazing shot, never recovers, and he's gone. And this is after I watched him knock out Klitschko at Wembley, getting up off the canvas in front of a crazy crowd. So I'm like, I'm leaving the Garden then, and I'm like, what happened to this guy? What you know?
Anthony Joshua's choice to take on Jake Paul represents a high-risk gamble for both his physical safety and his reputation. While the fight offers enormous financial reward, many insiders worry it could damage AJ's legacy if it goes badly. Critics claim Joshua risks turning a respected veteran return into a circus event. Conversely, this matchup could be the massive payday he deserves after years of major bouts. at this point in his career, accepting such a dangerous crossover fight, one that could lead to an upset or serious injury, is far from guaranteed.
A lot of people have said, well, if he doesn't knock him out the way in which he knocked out Francis Ngannou, he's a sham, this is a sham, this is all rigged. A lot of people said if Jake wins, this is a sham, this is rigged. A lot of people said if he goes the distance with Jake, this is a sham, this is all rigged. Some people are saying even before it was finalized, Gareth on our show, although he folded quite quickly when he was face-to-face with Eddie at the open workouts. I saw that on IFL TV, I do believe, saying that his legacy is already in question as a result of taking this fight. Now, I'm surprised that people like Gareth say this. Look, this may not be your cup of tea. You can say, I want to see Anthony Joshua fight other heavyweights. I want to see him fight the likes of, I don't know, Joseph Parker. I want to see him fight Martin Bakole. I want to see him fight Caballel. I want to see him fight Zhilei Zhang. I want to see him fight Hrgovic.